If you've been looking at an all-in-one machine with a functional trainer, a Smith machine, and a power rack, then you've probably seen your range of options. You've got everything from the as seen on Instagram budget specials to stuff that costs $5,000, $6,000, and $7,000. But what if you're the customer that ends up between those two levels? What if you want something that's better than budget, but you don't want to spend your next car payment on it? Well, I've got something to show you today. Welcome to the GymCrafter YouTube channel. My name's Tim. I'm the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I build great home gyms that we love and use all the time, and I've got something cool for you guys today. I have made the trip down here to Johnson Fitness and Wellness in Aurora, Illinois, one of a whole lot of locations. They've actually got over 100 locations in the country, and it's not often that you get to go to a store to check stuff out. So since I can't afford to buy all this stuff, nor do I have the room in my garage for it all, I figured I'd make the trip out here to show you guys some really cool stuff. And today what we're looking at is we're looking at the Force USA G3 all-in-one trainer. This thing is a power rack, it's got a cable functional trainer in it, it's got a Smith machine, and it's a heck of a lot nicer than what I've been showing you guys lately. Now, if you like videos like this, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming ones. I'm gonna shoot a bunch of videos today here at Johnson Fitness and Wellness, and I'm gonna shoot a bunch of Force USA products so you guys can check them out. And then make sure that you share this video to anybody that you know that's looking for a functional trainer like this. What we're gonna do, since I haven't actually trained on these for a long time, but I have had a chance to play with them in several different locations, is that we're gonna do an overview like we normally do. We're gonna kind of go top to bottom, front to back. I'm gonna show you the stuff that I like, the stuff that I wish was different, and I'm gonna show you how a lot of this stuff works, and be prepared for something that's a big upgrade from what I've been showing you lately. So before we get into the details, let's take a quick look at the overview of this machine. There's 6 basic things that it comes with, and there's a bunch of upgrades that we'll look at as we look at this machine in more detail. Number 1, you've got your pull-up station up on the front here with the Multigrip pull-up bar. You've got a power rack setup with 2x2 uprights, 1-inch hole spacing with 5/8-inch holes, so that it gives you a lot of ability to work outside of the rack with a straight barbell if you'd like to. It's got a suspension trainer attachment so that you can use your TRX or any other types of strap attachment that you have, Olympic rings, things like that. You've got your Smith machine built in. You've got the pulley system and functional trainer built in, which is plate loaded, which is nice. It allows you to only have to buy the weights that you need, and it's got a landmine attachment on the bottom. So coming in close to this machine, I want to start with the power rack, because as you guys know, I'm a big power rack fan, and if you're getting something like this where you want to do just the functional trainer and the Smith machine, this won't be important to you, but a lot of folks want to be able to buy this for an entire family, and they want to be able to train in a bunch of different ways. And if this was in my house, I would want to use the power rack as much as I would want to use the rest of the stuff. One of the drawbacks to a lot of the functional trainers or the multi-function machines that are out there, especially the ones I've been reviewing lately, is that the hole spacing on the uprights is 4 inches. And 4-inch hole spacing on the uprights is really not conducive at all to weight training, because you can't get your safeties, you can't get your J-hooks in the right place. So when you're setting up for the bench press, for example, you end up having to put your bench up on weights to try and get it into the right spot. The safeties are too high and your bar bumps into it. The safeties are too low and then you might die, which is never good. So you want to be able to have something with this 1-inch hole spacing that allows you to adjust these J-hooks an inch at a time to get them in exactly the right place. The heavier you lift, the more important that's going to be. Now, this unit does come with J-hooks and safeties. They're okay. I wouldn't say that they're the best out there. Here's the J-hooks. Now, it is nice and heavy duty, so they're very heavy and there's a good weight capacity to these. The only issue that I have is typically J-hooks have UHMW plastic up on the back here, so that as you re-rack your bar, you don't knock it into metal. So if this was mine, I probably would upgrade the J-hooks to something called sandwich J-hooks, which are going to give your barbell more protection. But if you're just doing basic barbell work, these will work fine. As far as the safeties go, these are typical arm safeties. My complaint about these is that they are a little bit short. So again, I would probably upgrade these to something that's a little bit longer. Now, these are long enough to work, and they'll definitely do for basic barbell work. If you're working heavy or you're doing something that requires a little bit more movement front to back, I would probably upgrade to longer safety arms. But that's the nice thing about having a 2x2 upright with this size hole and hole spacing. You're gonna have a lot of ability to upgrade and add attachments down the road to really customize this to what you want. But out of the box, this comes with what you need, and it's a very stable machine. You know, normally when I review these and you shake them, they move all around, and this is a very stable unit. A lot of people have questions about, is a 2x2 upright going to provide the stability that they want out of their machine? And this is definitely stable, really, really well built. And that's one of the big upgrades you're gonna see from a machine like this. Now this one runs $19.99, so it's a little bit of an upgrade from the price point of the stuff that we've been looking at lately on the channel. However, it's not up in the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 range, which you'll see a lot of the higher end all-in-one units. So this is a really good sweet spot. And if you're planning on buying something at this price point to save a little bit of money and you're worried about the stability of it, don't on these. Also, this is really nice that this is chrome. Something else that you'll notice on the budget machines that you get this really chintzy powder coat. And what happens with that powder coat is as you put these safeties and J-hooks on and off, is it just scratches everything right away. The couple that I've got in the garage that you guys have been seeing lately on the channel are completely scratched up, they're completely marked up, and even after 6 months of use, you're probably gonna have something that doesn't look very nice. With the chrome finish like this is gonna look nice for a really long time, and it's one of the big reasons why you see the upgraded prices, little finish touches like this, and just the stability of these. Even though, like I said, I don't like the length of these things are built like a tank. The welds, as you can see, are very good. The powder coat is evenly applied. It's nice and thick. It's a really good quality attachment, which is something that you see as typically an afterthought on a lot of less expensive machines. So as much as I like to work with a barbell and a power rack, that's not why you buy one of these machines. Typically people buy these machines for the cable system and the Smith machine. So let's take a look at the cable system. The cable system on this, one of the things I love is, unlike a lot of them where you've got these unscrew pop pins, which are kind of a pain to use, this has got a nice handle with a little pull that goes up and down, and these slide pretty easily on this upright. So this is going to slide on UHMW plastic. There are no rollers. The nice thing about this design is, like I said, because this is chrome, that's not going to rub these uprights or make them scratch in any way. So it's going to keep everything looking nice, but it's also really nice and stable. There's light play in these, there's no movement, there's no lateral movement, so it's going to contribute to a much nicer, smoother pull on the cables when you use them, and it's going to contribute to a longer life of the system, because the more stuff rattles around and moves and the less tolerance there is, then you're going to have things that don't last as long, because all that movement creates wear and tear in the system. And the couple that I've been showing you guys lately, even in as little time as I've had them, that extra play has really increased over time and caused more and more wear, and I don't see those lasting a real long time as compared to something like this. Now the pulleys themselves are nylon pulleys. I did ask Force USA if they're going to be upgrading to aluminum pulleys, and they said that is on the table for the future, but for now these nylon pulleys actually pull very, very smoothly. You've got 2,000-pound weighted steel core cables on these, so plenty of weight capacity for whatever you want to put on this. And then, like I said, this is a plate-loaded system, which we're going to look at here in a second. One of the things that I really like is, if you look, I'm 6'6", as I tend to say in every video for some reason, and this is right at the top of my head. A lot of these functional trainers, especially ones at this height, like I said, this is 87 inches, they aren't tall enough to do high angle or get something up high enough. This is going to help you in a couple of different ways. I'm going to show you in a minute, there is an additional optional lat pull down station that you can add to this, and the higher this goes, the more comfortable that's going to be, the longer of a stretch you can get at the top of your movement. So the cable system on this is really nice. The spacing on the cable pulleys is 4 inches, so you've got holes on the side that are 4-inch spaces. So that's the amount that you can move everything up and down. As I mentioned, this is a plate-loaded cable system. So one heads up that you're gonna want is, if you're buying plates and you're buying a system like this, you're gonna wanna buy rubber-coated plates like you see on the outside here, or even like the weighted out, really thin cast iron plates. You're gonna want a thin plate. This is gonna be able to hold plenty of weight for you. However, if you're using bumper plates, it's not. This is a 2-to-1 ratio cable system, so keep in mind that whatever weight you put on the weight horns, you're gonna be feeling half of it. This will hold about 3 thinner 45-pound bumper plates. So that's going to give you about 135 pounds of feel weight, as opposed to being able to put a lot more with thinner plates. So keep that in mind when you're buying plates for a system like this. You're probably not going to want to go to bumper plates. You're going to want to go with something thinner. The cable system itself, or the trolley itself, is supported on another 2x2 upright, and then also a nice heavy-duty carriage that rides up and down this upright. It's not just, a lot of these ride on a little pole or something like that, where this is going to be a whole lot more stable. Again, the pull on these is very smooth, very clean. Everything that I've showed you goes into that, from the stability of the attachment point for the handles to the beam that the trolley rides up and down on to the very heavy duty rollers that you'll see this ride up and down on. So overall, cable system is very good. While aluminum pulleys would be a nice upgrade, I don't think anybody's going to use one of these and go, hey, I don't think this cable system is smooth. It's very, very smooth. So the G3 is going to come with a ton of accessories, and I'm going to list all of those down in the description below, so make sure you check that. Also, there's a link down there if you decide to purchase one and you don't have a Johnson Fitness and Wellness near you to go check one out in person. Definitely appreciate it if you use that link. It helps me out a little bit. It helps the channel out a little bit. However, if you are in the area of a Johnson Fitness and Wellness and they've got one on display, definitely come check these out before you buy them. As much information as I can give you here in the video. There's really nothing like coming in and trying them. And everybody that I've met here at the stores that I've been to have been really helpful, really knowledgeable. And I've yet to meet somebody who doesn't actually work out, which is a big difference. So if you are in the area of one of them, definitely come check them out. Otherwise, like I said, I'll list everything in the description below, including the link. So one of the accessories that are upgrades that I would probably get immediately if I got something like this is this Lat Pulldown Seat. Not only is it going to support plenty of weight, I'm 6'6", 240 pounds, I fit on this just fine. The leg rollers are adjustable. Because of the high cable pull, this is gonna fit most of you. Now at my height, what I would tell you is, it's just short. Now I think I can put this seat maybe 1 or 2 notches lower, but this is about as low as it goes. So I can't get a full stretch at my height, but most normal sized human beings are gonna be able to do that. And this allows you to get a good amount of weight in those lat pull downs. This is so much better than sitting on the floor. Another very cool accessory that comes with this that relates to the cable system is this bar that attaches the 2 cables together. That allows you to get double the weight that you would normally get on your weight horns, and it also allows you to get a better kind of varied grip on the bar. So you can do quite a bit with these. You could do modified lat pull downs in the middle here and really get the angle straight over your head. You can do pullovers. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with this. So this allows you to connect both pulleys, pull both weight stacks at once, and adds a lot of versatility to a machine like this. And versatility is why you buy something like this in the first place. So one little nitpick I have on these that is true on the Smith machine, which we're about to look at, as well as this bar as well, that the knurling is okay. It's kind of a medium aggressive knurl. It's a little bit less than medium, maybe a medium to passive, but the knurl terminations on this are a little bit sloppy, and I would love to see this be a little bit crisper and a little bit deeper knurl to give you a little bit better grip. It's not a deal breaker, it's just something you need to know in case you're looking at buying this machine. If you're a big heavy knurl fan, this probably isn't going to be satisfactory for you. Looking at the Smith machine, it's very smooth and very clean, not only in how it moves up and down, but how it hooks and unhooks. And one of the things I really like about this is a lot of Smith machines, there's not a lot of play to the actual safety hook itself. And with this one, there's these little stoppers right here that you can see, and it very cleanly moves all the way back out of the way. So that if you're doing movements where you don't want to accidentally engage the safeties, it allows you to actually move these all the way back out of the way. It's not going to hit on anything. It's also not going to run into the weights on the cable system, which is a nice benefit. So if you've got weights loaded on both places, you're not going to hit one into the next. And then the spacing on these is about 4 inches, so you've got plenty of different variability. I like this because it racks high enough at this top position to where it's still not on my back. So typically I have, and taller people have, an issue with some of these integrated Smith machines in that the top racked position isn't tall enough to actually start your squat in. And squatting is one of the main exercises that people will do on the Smith machine. So with this, I actually have to start it one lower to get in the right spot for racking the squat. And then, like I said, these hooks go all the way out, so I don't have to worry about them accidentally engaging. So overall, really quality Smith machine. A couple of things about it, like I said, is the knurl is kind of a, it's not passive, but it's kind of a between medium and passive. And then, like I said, the knurl terminations are a little bit sloppy on these. The rest of the fit and finish is really good. The welds on the Smith are very, very good. The finish is complete. Sometimes what you'll see on these is that some of the areas where they've welded, or some of the joints or some of the out of sight areas, don't have a finish applied, and then you get corrosion over time. This is applied evenly through the whole thing. The barbell sleeves are smooth, and I really like that. A lot of these come with these ribbed sleeves, which there's no reason for a ribbed barbell sleeve on a Smith machine. And the smooth gives you a little bit easier loading of your plates. Speaking of loading the plates, this is going to come with a pair of normal lockjaw style Olympic collars, and then it's going to come with a bunch of pairs of spring collars. There is weight storage on the back of this, which if you've got room is great. Keep in mind that in order to use the weight storage on the back of a machine like this, you're going to have to keep the machine out from the wall a good 24 inches to allow you to get behind the machine itself, especially the lower weight horns, and get those weights off without hurting yourself. So keep that in mind if you're planning on putting this in a tight space. You may want to store your weight someplace else. The nice thing about this is there are really, I think there's 50 pounds of weight stored back there, you don't need to store weights on it to kind of secure this or make it stable. And that's one of the other things I really like about the fit and finish and the build quality of the Force USA stuff, is it's heavy enough to be stable. It's not going to walk around your garage floor. It's not going to move around on you. It's not going to shake and rattle and tilt and everything as you're racking and unracking weights. It's a really nice, stable machine, even without the weight stored in the back. So if you don't have the ability to use that storage back there, it's no problem at all. You don't have to weight it down. It is convenient for a place to store your weights, but you can always store those someplace else if you're tight on space. And let's be honest, getting an all-in-one machine like this is often because you're tight on space. So speaking of storage, I mentioned those down low weight horns back here. These are really low to the ground. I do wish they were up a little bit higher. So for those of you who don't like bending over to pick up your weights, this is something that you're going to want to be aware of. Other storage on this machine is really nice. There are 4 hooks up top for your accessories, and you can get most of your cable accessories hung on there and out of the way. And then there's also a barbell storage back here so that you can keep, if you're using a barbell outside of the front of the machine, you've got a nice easy place to store it back here and keep it out of the way. Again, back to the mode of space saving. This is going to allow you to do that by allowing you to keep everything in the machine itself. Like I said, I do wish the weight horns were a little bit higher. I also wish that maybe the barbell storage was horizontal. There are ways to store a bar horizontally on machines like this, and I think that's better for your bar, but in a pinch, this will work great. Finishing our walkthrough of the G3, I want to take you down low. There's 3 things to point out that are kind of important. Number 1, this is going to come with band pegs. These are nice heavy-duty band pegs. One nice thing about this versus a lot of other all-in-ones is that not only does it have 2 band peg slots in the front, out underneath where you do your barbell work, there are 3 band peg slots back underneath the cable system. And it's really a cool thing to be able to put bands on your functional trainer. It provides a different resistance curve and really adds a lot to the training. And again, back to the versatility of the machine. So you got plenty of band pegs. I think it comes with 4 if I'm not mistaken. On this side, we have the landmine attachment. Standard landmine attachment, slide your barbell in, do your work. You are going to get a T-bar row attachment with both a neutral and a pronated or supinated grip handle. So that's nice, it's a nice vertical. Most of these machines will come with only just the standard grip handle. This is nice because it comes with a nice knurled, they're not rubber grips, which is cool. It's an actual knurled handle. And then the Smith machine is mounted off to the side. The one kind of I wish about this is, I really wish that a lot of the companies that made these all-in-one units made the Smith machine able to fit on either side of the unit. The attachment for this is welded in place here in one spot, which makes it nice and secure. But again, if we're back to trying to fit this in a space that, you know, maybe is tight in your garage, again, you're between your washing machine and your big wheels or something like that, then having the ability to switch the side that the Smith machine and then what's on this other side, which is the foot plate, is going to be a valuable thing. And on this one, while the foot plate comes off, the landmine attachment does not. Speaking of the foot plate, this is going to be your low row foot plate. This is nice and heavy duty diamond plate. It's got 3 adjustable angles, which is really cool, so that regardless of your ankle mobility, you're going to be able to use this. Also, what that does is it allows you to tilt it back. A really cool trick is if you've got a bench that does a slight decline, instead of sitting on the floor, what you can do is put your bench in a slight decline out in front of the foot plate, and that angles you down enough to actually sit on your bench while you do your low rows and still use the foot plate. So that's a really cool option. This is actually attached with one of the band pegs, which I think is a really cool solution. And this allows you to take this on and off. One of the things I don't like about these foot plates is the ones that don't come off, I constantly am stubbing my toe on them, which is not a fun thing to do. Whereas with something like this, you can put it on when you're doing your low rows, you can take it off when you're not. So a nice way to approach the foot plate. So a few general thoughts before we wrap this up. And I'm gonna start with 3 things, the 3 main things that I wish were different on this unit. The first one is the knurling on the Smith machine bar. Now it is a little bit more on the passive side, and I understand why companies do that, because when you're doing high rep movements, a more aggressive knurl does hurt some people's hands, and I get that. So while my personal preference is a little more aggressive knurl, I don't think the more passive knurl is a deal breaker, but it is something that you're going to want to be aware of. The second thing is I wish, you know, because I like these uprights so much and I like the hole spacing, and it allows you to do actual barbell workout in front, I really wish the J-hooks and the safeties were a little bit better. That is something I would probably upgrade. Even though it comes with J-hooks and safeties, that's something I would probably upgrade with a little bit higher quality, as I mentioned earlier in the video. The third thing that I wish was different has nothing to do with anything wrong with this machine, and that's just I'm not a huge fan of plate-loaded machines. So a little bit of advice for people out there who are not necessarily at the top end of their budget, but they're thinking, hey, you know, because the next one up, the G6, which is right there, and I'll be reviewing here in just a couple minutes, is a weight stack machine. It allows you to put a pin in, the weights are already in it. With a machine like this that's plate loaded, what happens is your Smith machine is kind of in the way of getting in and out and loading these weight horns. So not only is it kind of a pain to consistently put plates on and off the weight horns. Now, like I said, I like to do barbell work, and you have to put plates on and off of a barbell, so I don't know where the difference in my mind comes between loading plates on a barbell is no problem and loading plates on these weight horns is something that I don't like to do. I think it might have to do with the fact that the Smith machine is up here, but if you are between a plate loaded and a weight stack one, most likely, if you save the money and go with the plate loaded, at some point you're gonna wish that you got the weight stack. Now, if this is stretching the budget already, again, not a deal breaker. It's the way that you save money, right? It's a great way to save money is not buying a weight stack. Also, when you're using something like this with plates, you now also have the plates for your barbell. When you're doing the weight stack, you still have to have plates for your barbell, so it's an even more expensive proposition. But like I said, if you're in between those two, my advice would be stretch the budget a little bit if you can and go with the weight stack. Otherwise, at $19.99, there is a ton to like about the G3. Number one, like I said, the uprights are nice and stable. The finish is gonna stay nice looking. As far as how it looks really sharp. And like I said, the finish is very well applied. You're not gonna have any issues with it coming off down the road, showing a lot of wear and tear real easily. All the design tolerances are really good. Nothing wobbles, nothing rattles, nothing shakes. This thing, like I said, is very, very stable. When I shake it real hard, you'll start to hear like the attachments that are hanging rattle, but you won't hear anything else. It's just a nice solid machine. I love the pull-up station because they've got the right number of grips. You've got an interior neutral, you've got an exterior neutral, you've got some angles, you've got an overhand, you've got a chin up, you've got everything that you need. It's a nice knurled bar. There's some nice wide grips. The plastic that they use on there, the rubber, I'm not sure what it is a nice hard textured rubber. It's not that soft stuff. What you'll see a lot of times when people put rubber grips on stuff is they use a soft rubber, and what happens is as your sweaty hands do it over time, it just starts to peel and degrade. This is the type of rubber that I've used on other stuff. It's the same rubber that's on the handle of my water rower, and it's just gonna last forever. So it's really nice and grippy, and it's not gonna slide around or anything like that. I love that it comes with a ton of attachments. Again, just a really nice, for $19.99, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you've been looking at all-in-one trainers and you're like, well, I could go with these, you know, $11.99, $12.99, $14.99 units because they're kind of on the lower end of the price point spectrum. If you've got the extra 500 bucks, this is absolutely worth it 100% of the way. I normally like to train on these things, and I'm thinking about buying one of the Force USA machines for my garage, and we'll see after I do these reviews today if I do that. But as far as what I've seen these at Home Gym Con, I've seen these here. This is my third Johnson Fitness and Wellness at this point, and I've looked at these a bunch of times. I've really looked at them closely, and I really think that if you're gonna step up a little bit in price and you're gonna start looking at a more premium machine, that these are a great way to go. And I've gotta say, after having reviewed all of the budget stuff that I've been reviewing lately, it is a really nice palate cleanser to get on something that doesn't rattle, that doesn't shake, that adjusts easily, and that's well made and I know isn't gonna fall apart, and that I can confidently say if you guys spend the money that you're gonna like what you got. So what do you guys think? I've had my head buried in Force USA for quite a while preparing to come shoot these videos today. And if you've got any questions I didn't answer or something that I missed, definitely pop the question down below in the comments. I would love to help you out. Any of you Force USA owners out there, let us know what you think. I'd love to know from folks who have had these for a while, how they last, how the durability is. I'm assuming that it's really good, but like I said, since I haven't had an opportunity to train them for a long time, I would love to hear from some of you guys. And what do you guys think about all-in-one trainers? Is this a good solution for your gym? Is this not a good solution for your gym? Are a lot of you guys just power rack people and you'd rather have a functional trainer separate? Let me know what you think about putting everything in one. This seems to be the direction that a lot of fitness companies are going. Most major fitness manufacturers are gonna make something like this, and you're seeing a lot of these coming out now in the future. Force USA has been around for a long time. This is the core of their business. This is what they do. So I think they've got a head start on most people. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, let me know what questions you have. And as usual, I appreciate you hanging with me through these long videos. I'm hopefully giving you enough detailed information to help you in your buying decisions, help you plan and build a gym that you love. And that's the whole point of the channel. So thank you guys so much for hanging until now. If you haven't hit that like button right away. Check out those links below for more information. And if you plan to buy one, it does really help me out. And until next time, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.